cows and calves and the cowherd boys. Lord Krishna brought them back. He actually created. He expanded himself. Actually, he expanded himself and he created the exactly same number of calves and cowherd boys. And then when Lord Brahma came to know about his mistake, he sought forgiveness. And then Lord Krishna Lord Brahma was very, very demotivated, very, very low. He wanted forgiveness. He wanted the place in Vrindavan. So Lord Krishna told him, "No, I can't give you any place in Vrindavan, but I'll when I come in Kali Yuga as Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and so I'll give you a important role of Swami Haridas Thakur." So Namacharya Haridas Thakur, is one of the very, very great devotees. So he's Lord Brahma who did this. Role of Haridas Thakur. So we'll just hear about Haridas Thakur right now. So I'll try to cover that. So Haridas Thakur, how did he come? He was born in a Muslim family. So in Bengal, East Bengal, he was born in East Bengal, and he was born in a very royal family of a magistrate who was a Muslim. And but from childhood, he was always he loved the name of Lord Krishna, and he used to chant the name of Lord Krishna, and he was only this thing. But because of this, what happened? The Muslims actually started hating him, and also Hindus also started hating him because Hindus felt, he's a Muslim. How can he chant Lord Krishna's name? So at that time, it was like that, uh, if you chant the like Lord Krishna, Lord Ram, they all belong to Hindus, so only Hindus can chant, and Muslims should not chant. But ISKCON has done that change. Lord Krishna, Lord Ram, they belong to everybody. We are Sanatan Dharma. It is for everyone, so anyone can chant. So Haridas Thakur used to chant the name of Lord Krishna, and which irritated many. So what happened? Because of this, there were many people started became envious of him, and there was one person called uh, Ramachandra Khan. He was a very scholarly person, influential person, and Haridas Thakur was becoming famous because of this. He was chanting, and he was not only chanting, he was preaching. He used to tell people to chant, and he became so famous. This person Ramachandra Khan became very envious of him. So Ramachandra Khan, what he did to uh, to spoil the name of Haridas Thakur, he sent a prostitute to his house. There was a prostitute named Laksha Hira. Laksha Hira was the lady. He sent him to spoil the name. He gave her money, and then she went. She said, "Okay, I'll do. Don't worry. I'll make his name so bad in the village that he will be ashamed." And then, so what she does, in the night she goes there, and Swami Haridas, he used to do chanting 3 lakh names. Means how do you calculate 3 lakhs is like that, in one our mantra, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. There are 16 words. So 16 into 108, this is what we do actually. So 16 in one round. So if you take a calculator, if you say 16 into 108, it comes to 1728, is basically names. So he used to do 3 lakhs. So 3 lakh means 3 lakhs divided by 1728. So that many rounds he used to do. So he used to do 1000, 1728. So he used to do 173, almost 174 rounds in a day. So what we are doing, 16 rounds. So, but what is recommended is to do 1 lakh round, 1 lakh names. So 1 lakh names means we divide that by 1728. It comes to around 60 rounds. So generally 60, 64 rounds is mentioned in the Shastra, but in ISKCON we follow 16 rounds. At least we should do 16 rounds, and if possible, try to increase that. So Haridas Swami, Namacharya Haridas Thakur used to do 3 lakh names. So 3 lakh names means around 174 rounds. So 174 rounds daily, and he never used to spend time on eating, sleeping. He continuously did chanting. So this lady, when she goes there, he's closed his eyes and he's chanting. And then this lady goes there and she tries to lure him, and she tells, what are you doing? You're so young, handsome, and all those things. Why don't you look at me? And so then Haridas Thakur opens his eyes. He says, okay, I will fulfill your desire, but you'll have to wait. I have a vow that every day I do this many rounds of chanting. So once I complete, then I will definitely fulfill your desire. But this lady did not knew, she thought, this is a matter of just half an hour, 1 hour, he'll be free. But Swami Namacharya, he was just chanting, and then his chanting went up to sunrise in the morning. So this lady was waiting. So finally, with sunrise happened. So then Haridas Thakur told, "Arey, now it is. Sorry, I couldn't fulfill your desire. So you go. You come tonight again." So then lady comes again the night on the night, and then same thing happens. He continues chanting. Then again sunrise. And when Haridas Thakur was chanting, he used to chant loudly. So that lady was also hearing the name of the Lord. And on the third night, he said, "Okay, now, but come next night, I'll definitely fulfill your desire." So third night she comes, and then when she's sitting, she also starts chanting, saying, "What should I do?" So she's also waiting for him, and she's chanting, and till the morning, she's completely purified. And she starts crying, and she says to her, I was given money, and that's the reason I came to you. So Haridas together, I was aware of it, but I wanted you to become pure. And she became pure, and Haridas Thakur initiated her, and she shaved her hair. She started chanting, and this thing, she also started chanting. And Haridas Thakur, instead of his name being spoiled, he became more famous. That he converted prostitute into a this thing, a devotee, an initiated devotee, and she started chanting, and his this thing, and then he left from that place, and he used to live. Then one more time he was tested by Maya Devi. Durga Devi tested him. Durga Devi also came, and one day he was in a forest, and she tried to lure him, and basically she wanted to test him. But again, same thing happened 3 nights. Then Durga Devi also understood, agreed that he's the one of the topmost of the devotees of Lord Krishna, so nobody can touch him. So he was that's the way he was going on. So then it was happening, so he became famous, and he used to do preaching at many places. So one day he went to one place called Saptagram, in a village of West Bengal, where there were devotees, and he was doing this chanting, and he was giving the explanation that the bhakti, the devotion, is bigger than, supreme than the mukti, the liberation. And he was telling this, and he gave examples of Draupadi and Valmiki, saying that how chanting is very powerful. But there was one person called Gopal Chakravarti was seated in the assembly, and he was little Mayavadi type. So he did not agree to it. He said, "No, Mukti is superior to Bhakti." And he said, if this is what you are saying is not true, then you will lose your nose in 3 days. And then everybody became angry, and he was thrown out. But what happened? That curse fell back on him, and his nose, and basically he got leprosy, and because of which his hands and nose, those were also destroyed. So actually this shows that you can no, we should not curse a devotee. So, and this was happening. So then this was one more incident. So there was one more incident. Haridas Thakur used to travel here and there. Then he was staying in one cave. He was used to stay in a cave, and then many people used to come and meet him. And in that cave, there was a very, very big snake who was staying inside, and very poisonous snake. And his odor, his breath used to come outside, and people used to feel very irritated. So when this devotees used to come and go there, they complained to Haridas Thakur, saying that you should like this place is very dangerous, and there's a snake inside, and it can be dangerous. So then Haridas told, "See, I am actually staying in his house. This house actually belongs to the snake, so I can't tell him to go out. But okay, let me move out, and let me shift to some other place." So when he just told this, the snake inside, he just came out, and he went off from that cave. So that's the power of how devotees taken care of. So that snake left the cave, and he left that place so that Haridas Thakur and the devotees could peacefully, so Haridas Thakur could stay there and this thing. So this was this thing. And there's always Haridas Thakur and Nityanand Prabhu. Nityanand Prabhu is none other than Lord Balram. They both had taken the responsibility of distributing the names of the Lord. So they used to convince people, they used to go to people, beg them, chant the name of the Lord, chant the name of Lord Krishna, chant the name of Lord Krishna. Whomsoever they met, they used to tell that only. And they used to be, there were people who used to punish them, or they used to be very angry with them, when he used to say. And those times, these places were ruled by Mughals, and Muslims were very dominating. And they used to tell this, people to chant. But still they took dangers, and there were a lot of incidents which happened on them, but Lord used to protect them. Here, one important thing for us is, our job is to tell people to chant. We should not force upon people, you chant the name of Lord Krishna, chant. you can tell them. Then it's between the Lord and that person. Then Lord Krishna and he will see it. Our job is only to connect him with the Lord. If he then Lord will manage. If he gets connected, not connected, how he progresses. We should not bother about it. We are only our job is only tell a person, please chant the name of Lord Krishna. That's it. So yeah, they used to do that. Then Haridas Thakur's one more very strong instance. So he became very famous, and then uh, this thing. There were a lot of complaints which happened because of Haridas Thakur is distributing the is preaching and this thing. So Muslims were angry with him because he's chanting the name of the law, Hindu Lord. Hindus were angry, saying that how can he chant? And this was going on, and then he was arrested and brought in front of the governor. Then he went. So governor told him, you are a Muslim. Why can't you chant the name of Allah? Why are you chanting the name of Lord Krishna? So then he gives a beautiful explanation. So his explanation is saying, my attachment to the Lord's name is spontaneous. I like, and as far as God is concerned, people do call him Allah, just as the sun god has different names in different countries. He has many names, and out of all those names, the name Krishna has attracted my heart the most. So Lord has many names. Allah is also his name, but I am attracted to the name of Lord Krishna. So how does it matter? So let me chant. So governor was very happy, but he said, chant softly, don't preach. But he said, no, I'll continue to this. Then he said, okay, now the Qazi will decide whatever is to happen. So Qazi, what he decided, he said, I will punish him, and I will punish him. He'll be beaten in 22 marketplaces. So means in one marketplace, they will beat him very heavily with this whips or this thing. And he can die there. So if he doesn't die, go to the second marketplace, again beat him. So this way, until and unless he dies, you continue, move on marketplaces, and finally in 22 marketplaces. So generally what happens, by in 4 or 5 marketplaces, a person would have died. But Haridas Thakur, he was chanting continuously. He was chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, continuously whenever he was beaten. So one marketplace, two marketplace, because Qazi wanted to show to people, now also some people in Iraq, people are punished in front of the audience, like in front of in a public place, so that people have fear of this thing, death. So he was beaten for so many marketplaces, but he did not die. These people, but instead, whenever he was beaten, he was always praying that for these people who are beating him, God to forgive him, please forgive the these people. They don't know what they are doing, so they are ignorant. So don't take him seriously. And this is the way he was praying for them also, and he was chanting, and he survived. So finally, people who are beating said, because you have not died, now we'll be killed by the Qazi. They said, okay, if you're feeling that way, then I'll kill myself. I don't want you to be punished. I will kill myself. So Haridas Thakur sits in a meditation, and then he just sits, and his breathing stops, and he's declared dead. So he's declared dead, but also he did not die. We will come to know. So when he was declared dead, then Hindus did not take his body. He said, no, he's a Muslim. We can't allow him to burn him. So that cannot be done. So Muslims said, no, we also cannot allow him to be buried. No, he's saying he's chanting Lord Krishna's name. No, we'll not allow him to. Finally, what they did, they threw the body of Haridas Thakur in Ganga. So when they threw the body floated for some time, and then he gained consciousness and he survived. So he swam and he came across. And when people came to know about it, they in fact became more, this thing, afraid of him. And all the Qazi, everybody, they went to Haridas Thakur and requested forgiveness. They realized, such a great soul is this, as if he got dead and he's come back alive. So they became this thing. So this is the way. Then Lord Chaitanya, he met Lord Chaitanya. So Lord Chaitanya told him, I would have killed those people who were beating you in the first marketplace only. My Sudarshan Chakra was ready, but every day you were always praying for them. So my Sudarshan Chakra could not go and kill them. But but ultimately I had to save you. So how did I save you? So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's body was covered with shawl. He told him, whenever you were being beaten, actually you were not beaten. It was I was taking that beating. So he showed the marks of all the beatings on his back. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was protecting him at every place. So that's the reason Haridas Thakur did not die although he was beaten so badly. So Lord takes care of him. Then there's a lot of time with Haridas Thakur spent with Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Jagannath Puri. So Jagannath Puri used to stay near Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's house. But Haridas Thakur, because he was a Muslim, he never entered Jagannath Mandir. Because if you go to Jagannath Puri temple, they are only, if you tell your Gotra, then only you are allowed inside. Otherwise, they will not allow you. So he never did, but he used to take darshan from outside when Jagannath Puri's Jath Yatra used to happen. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was giving him darshan himself. He is Lord Krishna. So he was giving him the, and also Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was ensuring that he used to give prasadam through his, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had a servant named Govinda. And he used to ensure that prasadam is sent to uh, Haridas Thakur. And this is the way they used to live. And in one time, what happened when Haridas Thakur used to chanting, there was very huge sun because if you go to Jagannath Puri in summer night, it's very hot. So it was heavy sun. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, what he did, he put a seed, planted one twig, a small plant inside in the ground, and that instantly that twig became a big tree, a bakul tree, and it gave complete shade. And then he told Haridas Thakur, you sit below this tree only and do your chanting so that you get the shade. So that is the way he takes care. Then finally, when Haridas Thakur was about to leave his body and he was growing very old, so every day Govinda, the servant of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, used to come and give him some prasad. So he used to take little prasad. Now he was growing old and his chanting was slow, but till the last day he used to do 3 lakh rounds. So he used to continue his chanting till that time. Although he was such a great soul, he never left chanting. See, here one important thing is even if how much we progress, how much we become greatest of the devotees, we should not leave chanting. Chanting is important even for the greatest. So all the greatest Vaishnavas, they also say you cannot leave chanting. So he used to do this. And then Haridas Thakur told the Lord, I desire to die in front of you. Although I also understand you will be completing your pastime shortly, but I cannot see you. I cannot see you go away. So then he said, I want to go before you. Then Lord Chaitanya Prabhu says, I am also here because of of the devotees like you. What will be my pain if you go before me? But finally he said, okay. Then Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes and then he was almost lying down, and then he put the feet of Lord Krishna, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu on his chest, and then looking at Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and singing, he started singing Hare Krishna. I said Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, and he left his body. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu lifted his body and started dancing, and he did all this thing. The samadhi was created for Haridas Thakur, and everybody started remembering Bhishma Pitama. Bhishma Pitama also, how he died? He died when Lord Krishna was in front of him. So same way, Haridas Thakur also, when he died, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was in front of him, and then that was taken and the body was bathed in that in the sea, in the ocean, and then all the rituals and everything was done. And there is Samadhi Mandir of Haridas Thakur in Jagannath Puri. I think it is near Tota Gopinath Temple. So that Samadhi Mandir, and many people, lakhs of people actually go there. And this is the life of Haridas Thakur. And his life teaches us lot of tolerance. And one of the most important thing, chanting. Chanting is very important. Try to increase your count as much as you can. That is the learning of from Haridas Thakur. Guru Haridas Thakur ki jai, Namacharya Haridas Thakur ki jai. So he was one of the greatest souls. So what I'll do, I'll start Bhagavatam Tales 3. So we have completed Bhagavatam Tales 1, Bhagavatam Tales 2, and then we have Bhagavatam Tales 4, which we are reading of Lord Krishna's pastimes. So there's the last chapter in that of Denuka, the donkey's this thing. Before we start that, I'll start Bhagavatam Tales 3. And Bhagavatam Tales 3 is having the stories of Bhakt Prahlad, very, very important, Gajendra Moksha, Samudra Manthan, then Bali and Vaman. And there are some small stories about some sages, which are this thing, and Moon Dynasty, the fish incarnation. So these are very, very nice ones. So what we'll do, I will start with some on Prahlad's story. I'll try to cover some portion today. Maybe then I'll start with reading of Lord Krishna's tales. Okay, so now we start with Bhakt Prahlad. So Jai Bhakt Prahlad. So his story, how we know about Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu, they were two brothers and they were born to Diti and Kashyap. And then how Hiranyaksha was killed by Vara Avatar. So Vara Avatar came and then he killed Hiranyaksha. Then Hiranyakashipu became very, very angry, and he was very angry, and he wanted to, take revenge against Lord Vishnu, and he was really very this thing. So so he brought all the. I'm audible, na? Hare Krishna.
Yes, yes.
Okay. So now he brought all the demons and said, we'll fight with the devatas and this thing. But uh, he decided, now I'll become so powerful that I'll kill Vishnu so that all the devatas will become powerless. And then he started doing that. So, and he said, the earth is flourishing because of the pious brahmanas and because of the austerities. Actually, people like Hiranyakashipu exist today also. So they are also living. They are also, they also want to fight against the god. They also don't believe in God. They want to, in fact, do everything which is opposite to the dharma, and they will not follow the scriptural this thing. So, and by nature, these demons, they like to create chaos. So now in this Kali Yuga, there's total chaos across. So the qualities of demons are completely matching. I think my earphone is battery is going down, maybe. So, so then what happens? So Hiranyakashipu called all the demons. He said, you start destroying. So what they did, they start creating disturbances. They started creating disturbances to the brahmanas, and they used to cut the trees, and they created this this okay with the center file. Okay, so uh, so they created disturbances, and the yagnas were also not happening, and then. Uh, so this was happening, and parallelly what happened when Hiranyakashipu went to his uh, this thing his brother's wife and family, his sister-in-law and his mother, and started counseling him, and he was a very good diplomat. He used to talk very beautifully. He had the full knowledge, like many people now also, they have full knowledge, what is right, what is wrong, but they don't implement them. They know this is wrong, but still they will follow this because everybody is doing, and this is the nature of the devil. So now see how he's giving a beautiful story to mourning, giving this thing. So everybody is mourning the wife of Hiranyakasya and his mother Diti. Everybody is mourning because Hiranyakasya has been killed, and then he's telling them beautiful knowledge. I'll just. So he's giving them knowledge. Dear relatives, please don't mourn the death of my brother. He was a great hero who died gloriously while battling his enemy. We cannot control birth and death. We come together as members of the same family only until our karma keeps us together. Once that karma is exhausted, we head to different destinations. Look at the example now, what he'll give. Like travelers who meet at a restaurant for some time and then depart after enjoying the meals, we too come together for a while and then part away. Also, unlike the body, the soul is eternal. Therefore, we shouldn't feel depressed at the loss of a person because death is unavoidable. So now this is such a beautiful explanation he's giving to his family. And this is the same thing Chitraketu's story also we learn, how that child is brought back and he also gives some similar knowledge. Then he's further, explaining, he's then giving example of a king whose name was Suyajana. And when once he was killed in in the battlefield, then his wives, those wives, his wives were actually crying and they did not allow the body to be this thing burned. The rituals, they were not allowing the rituals to happen. And then Yamraj came down as a small boy. Then the Yamraj is telling to those wives of that I'll just take your question later. So Yamraj came as a small child and he's telling those wives, he's telling, alas, it is amazing that these people older than me who have seen hundreds of births and deaths are still bewildered. No one can avoid death. Why can't they understand this? The Lord has protected us in our mother's womb, will surely protect us everywhere. By his will, people will live, and when he sanctions, people will die. Hence, one shouldn't become confused and dysfunctional with the deaths of relatives. So, here, Prahlad, this is an example which Hiranyakashipu is giving to his family. So, here, I was also listening today, to this thing, one katha where one Guruji saying, so when a child birth is given, the basically janam dene wali mata hoti hai, parents give birth to the a child, but life to the child is given by the Lord. So there are many instances where the child who is born is dead, but so it although the mother has given birth to a child, but he may live, he may not live. It's in the hand of the God. So जन्म देने वाली वो है, but जीवन देने वाले भगवान है. So we should pray to the person who has given us life. So Lord has given us life. We should respect our parents. They have given us birth, but ultimately the life giving is by the Lord. So so this boy was telling this, and then this boy also just was giving one more example that there was once there was a hunter in a forest and he was killing birds. So one day he saw a pair of birds and he killed one. He killed this thing, uh, one of the bird. He captured and killed him. And then the other bird was lamenting, saying that my wife has been put into. So female bird was killed and attacked. So he's saying my wife has been put into situations. Let me also have this thing. Let me have also the same fate. My wife is my half body. What is the use of living without her? Our children are completely helpless. How can I maintain? So in the meantime, he was so much lamenting. The male bird also, the hunter killed the male bird also. So there's no point of lamenting. So here Yamalaj is telling, oh foolish woman, if you lament for hundreds of years, your husband will not become alive. And in the meantime, your lives will also be finished. So there's no point in lamenting. You can lament for few days, but you cannot. So if you see, we were reading the story of, we are listening to the story of Haridas Thakur. So when Haridas Thakur died, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu danced and celebrated. Why? He said, now this devotee has gone to Golok Vrindavan. He went back to his planet. So that is the reason he was celebrating. So this is what he's saying. You cannot lament for forever. So you see now also people deaths happen. So lamentation can happen. You can lament, of course. You will have sorrow. You will have that feeling, but you'll have to come out of that. So how soon we come out? So these stories of Bhagavatam help us become very strong, and then we can come out little faster compared to any other person. So this is the way he consoled his family. So he gave an example of travelers and this thing. Then he told this story of Yamaraj, and then Yamaraj told the story of the birds. And this is the way it was happening. So then after that, Hiranyakashipu decided, I will take revenge. But finally, what is it? After everything, he's go back to square one. He's telling, now I will take revenge with Lord Vishnu. So what he does, now he starts doing tapasya. So he starts doing tapasya. Take minute. Erith, you had a question. Sorry, how did Bhakt Prahlad get all his knowledge? Yeah, we'll come. So it will come ahead. Don't worry. So that is there in the next chapter. We'll continue. We'll read that. Yeah. That was only message you put. Yeah. Sure. So that will come as part of this story. So now Hiranyakashipu, what he decides, decides to do austerity, and he goes to Mandara mountain and he performs severe austerity. Severe means no devta would have performed such kind of tapasya he does. So he's standing on his toes and pointing his huge arms upwards. Something like Dhruv also did, but his austerities actually became also equal or a little more than that. And he did this tapasya for many years. And because of this, what happened? Uh, the whole his fire started emanating from his head, and it spread everywhere, and the whole universe started becoming hot. So it started burning. This thing became burning, and the rivers, oceans, they all became agitated. Mountains and islands were crumbling. Stars and planets were set ablaze. They were burned, and then all the devas suddenly went to Lord Brahma and said, we cannot stay. Please help. He's this Hiranyakashipu's austerities are disturbing us a lot. So help us. So about then what he decided, then Lord Brahma decided to go to Hiranyakashipu, and then he approached him along with the sages like Brigu, and he reached there. But when he went there, he couldn't see Hiranyakashipu because his body was already completely eaten up by ants, and there was no blood, flesh left. But there was a noise coming from there. So from that, he went there and he put some uh, spiritual this water on his body, and uh, Hiranyakashipu did this tapasya for 100 celestial years. So 100 celestial years without water. So it was a huge cycle. So one celestial year was almost like 43 lakh Indian apna human planet Earth. How many years it was? Almost 43 lakh. So almost he did for 100 celestial years and he sustained. And then he said, I am impressed with you, and you ask me whatever you want. So he put water from his kamandalu, divine water on it. Then his body became very strong and he shone like, very bright. He was shining. And Hiranyakashipu, then Hiranyakashipu, what he did? So first he told Lord Brahma that, you make me immortal. So then Lord Brahma tells, sorry, I can't make you immortal because I myself am not immortal. So I can't give you that this thing boon. So then he said, okay, give me something else. So here Hiranyakashipu is, we all know what he asked. So he asked, saying that, I should not be killed by any of the living beings. I should not be killed by any of the living beings. I should not die within or outside my house, neither within nor outside, nor during daytime, nor at night, and nor in the ground, nor in the sky, nor by any weapon, human being or animal, or by any living or non living entity, or nor by any devta or asura or snakes. Let me not have any rivals. Please give me sole lordship. So this is the way he's praying that, I should not be killed by so many people. And then Lord Brahma says, okay, I give you. Although these boons are very, very difficult to give, but since you have done such great austerity, I am giving it to you. So he gives this thing. Now, after this austerity, but here austerity, we should do austerity, but for positive things. Here Hiranyakashipu is doing austerity for killing. He wants to kill Lord Vishnu. But if you see in this chapter of Kashyap and Diti wanted to do austerity for killing Indra, but Kashyap Muni gave his wife a process of worshipping Lord Vishnu, because of which she became pure and she did not. In fact, her anger, her revenge, this thing has gone away from this thing because of the chanting. So now this Lord Brahma gives him the boon, and then after he's giving the boon, and then Hiranyakashipu, what he does, he starts disturbing everybody. He starts taking complete power. So all the devtas, he takes complete power of all the universe. So Indra runs away, and he's taking the Hiranyakashipu has taken all charge, and the beautiful Indra's palace, which was built by Vishwakarma, and he started living there, and that had beautiful, gardens, colorful canopies, ruby studded seats, lot of beautiful floors, all of emeralds, and everything was beautiful. Beautiful rooms, beddings, foam like silken clothes, and it is described. It's complete luxury place. Amazing. 7-star hotel. How we say it's beyond that. So our 7-star hotels are nothing. So this can be actually told. It's a 50-star hotel. It was such a big one. And then everybody was under his control. All devtas were under his control. So he wanted, he said wanted rains today. He'll tell the rain god, okay, bring rain. So rains will fall. He'll say, Mother Earth, give me grains. So she will give. So everybody was following his orders, and everybody was so afraid. And he was managing, was living like anything. And he had everything, but still he was not happy. So this is the situation of human beings also. Even if we have everything, we'll never be happy. So people, they have lot of money. They have beautiful beds. They sleep on beds. The what do you call that? Uh, the gadda, whatever, the bed on which we sleep. So that costs almost lakhs also. Huh? It's they're very expensive kind of this thing, pillows and this things, mattresses which are there. They are very, very expensive. People sleep on, but they have everything, but they can't sleep. They are always tense. They hardly sleep. They try to sleep for 8 hours, but they get sleep only for 2 hours. They are just anxious. So what's the point of having so much of wealth? So having everything, but still not happy, not satisfied. Always this thing. So Hiranyakashipu had everything, but he was still very unhappy because he wanted to, kill this thing, Lord Vishnu, and he was envious. So, and when Hiranyakashipu was creating, disturbing so many, all the devtas, so the devtas, they went to Lord Vishnu. So Lord Vishnu told, don't worry, I know I'll protect you from him. And once I'll protect you once his son is born, Prahlad is born. And once he starts giving trouble to his son, then I will come to protect you. Then I'll protect my Bhakt, my devotee, greatest devotee will be coming, Prahlad, and then I will protect you. And then he said, don't worry. So Hiranyakashipu had 4 sons. So he had 4 sons. Out of his, Prahlad was the best of the one. and he was very kind. He was not like his father, although he was born in a demon family, but he was very pure. We all know he was so soft and he was so tolerant, and this thing was very, very good with education, beauty, and this thing. And he did not have any demonic qualities. And he was a great devotee of Lord Krishna. So now it is your answer will come. How he got this knowledge? Okay, so so Prahlad was used to see Lord Govinda everywhere, and this thing. Here, the lesson shows, somebody gets power, he misuses it. So Hiranyakashipu was having power and he was misusing it, and he was not responsible. So which is very dangerous. So we have to be careful in ensuring, who our kings, who our rulers become. If somebody becomes a ruler who is, who doesn't follow dharma, who's a kind of a demon, it creates only disturbances for people. We should be very careful about it. But if a person is good and he's following all proper practices, he's taking care of everybody, such a person should be allowed to rule the kingdoms. So how was Prahlad born? So Prahlad was actually born uh, when this happened, when Hiranyakashipu was performing his austerities, so he was performing for almost 100 celestial years. So at that time, so when he went there, the Devtas, they attacked Hiranyakashipu's kingdom. So when they attacked Indra along with all the Devtas came and they attacked, and seeing them, all the demons ran away. When they ran away, and his wife, Kayadu, so there was his wife called Kayadu, she was pregnant at that time. So this Devtas, what they decided, they said, okay, we'll kidnap her, we'll take her away, we'll capture her, we'll capture her, and the child who will be born, will kill that child because he may become a demon. So when they kidnapped and they were taking away to Kayadu, then Narad Muni met them on the way. So Narad Muni met them. He said, "No, you cannot kidnap a lady. So ensure that." And this woman is sinless. What has she done? So they said, "No, no. The son who is born, the child who will be born, he'll be a demon, and he'll also be like his father, and he'll create problem for us." Then Narad Muni said, "Don't worry. His son will not be this thing. His son will be a sinless. He'll be a greatest of the devotees, and he'll be a Mahabhagavata, and he'll be the greatest devotee." So we have 12 Mahabhagavatas, who are the greatest devotees of Lord Krishna. So you don't kill them. And then Indra and Devtas, see, they always followed what Narad Muni or great sages instructed them. So Brahma, whoever tells them, they used to follow their instructions. So they believed Narad, and they released Kayadu. So but Kayadu, was still afraid. He said, I can't go back there. So Narad Muni took Kayadu along with her to along with him to his ashram. So Narad Muni took there, and then she said, "Don't worry, till your husband comes back, you stay with me." And at that place, her son was born. So, but when she was staying there, Narad Muni used to give her spiritual teachings. He used to teach her about devotion, teach about Lord Krishna. But Kayadu was always tense, so she used to fall asleep. She used to not listen carefully. But the child inside her womb, he was listening properly. So Prahlad got this knowledge from Narad Muni when he was listening. It's similar to Abhimanyu getting knowledge of entering the womb of, entering the,
Uttara.
huh?
Uttara, na?
The war, what do you say, that war was there, na? The Chakravyuh, what Bhiman used to enter that the Chakravyuh was formed by the
Sakal.
Yudham and the army. So he knew how to enter the Chakravyuh. So he had that knowledge. How did Abhimanyu got this knowledge? He got this knowledge when he was in the womb of Arjun, womb of his mother, and Arjun was giving that knowledge to her, and then that's the reason. Same way, Prahlad also got this knowledge when he was in the womb of his mother Kayadu, and Narad Muni was giving that knowledge. So, and he remembered everything. So he was very attentive and he listened to everything. And that's the reason when he was born directly as a devotee who started chanting the name of Hari Hari. So this is the way how Prahlad was born. So what we'll do, I'll stop on this chapter, because then then we'll continue. So actually I've almost covered 4 chapters of Prahlad's story. It has 8 chapters, I think, almost. Yeah. So 8, in fact, 9 chapters total. So we'll continue this Prahlad story in the next session, maybe this way. So Prahlad, there's a great movie also, Hari Darshan. If somebody, if you would have watched, it's a beautiful movie, completely on Bhakt Prahlad. So it covers the story properly, and it is well made movie. So right now, what we'll do, I'll start with this thing, Bhagavatam Tales. So any questions? Anything now? Any questions like this? Anybody?
Is this question answered?
Sorry. So how he got the knowledge from Narad Muni? According to me, to answer, Erith, your this thing. Are you okay with the answer?
Yes,
Yeah, I have even heard like Prahlad was in the womb for 36,000 years until Hiranyakashipu had gone for the tapasya. Till then, he was in the womb and he used to get knowledge from Narad Muni.
So it's fine. But yeah, this will be true. Okay. So Narad Muni is a great teacher. He has transformed many. He's a guru of lots of great devotees. So he Bhakt Prahlad, Dhruv Maharaj, Valmiki, Vedyas, Parvati Mata, and so many, he has been able to transform their lives. Okay, so what we'll just read some part of this story, then we'll continue on the same. Okay, this story is of the deadly donkey. The divine presence of Krishna and Balram graced Vrindavan with sacred footprints of as they wandered through this enchanting forest. Krishna, with his magical flute, led the way encircled by the Gopas, who sang sweet songs in his praise. Their entry into Vrindavan transformed the land, which flourished with an abundance of flowers, plants, and trees, all thriving to provide nourishment for the animals and all living beings. So this was such a beautiful time that Lord Krishna and Balram, they are just traveling around Vrindavan, and they used to be barefooted. They never rode barefooted, and they were gracing Vrindavan. So they were just, their this thing, their with their flutes and their feet and the dust, and they were really singing sweet songs. And Vrindavan was transformed it into a beautiful, like heaven, Golok Vrindavan. It is amazing, and with lot of flowers and nature, everything was perfect. And this thing, the trees in Vrindavan were, with their heavy fruits and colorful flowers, seemed to bow down to touch Krishna's feet with their branches. So this is always said, when Krishna was there, the trees used to have lot of trees, lot of fruits. So why they used to have lot of fruits? Because they wanted to bend down, because they wanted the branches to bend down, and they wanted to bow down to Lord Krishna's feet. So this is the feel. This is the reason. This is the feeling the trees also had. So trees, the stones, the pebbles, everybody wanted to touch the Lord's feet. So this was so they all wanted to do those effort for doing that. Krishna playfully spoke to his brother Balaram, saying, "My dear brother, these trees are honoring you by bowing down to you. They want to offer you their fruits and flowers. The beasts here must be great sages, for they worship and praise you." So now Lord Krishna is telling this to Balaram. Basically, he's trying to encourage, he's actually praising him. He's doing that way. And he's telling, these trees are actually bowing you to you and offering you flowers. Bees are also coming and praising you. They are actually like sages. And even when you hide in the forest, they follow you. The peacocks dance joyfully in your presence, and the deers are pleased by your affectionate glances. So this is true for Lord Krishna also, but Lord Krishna is actually telling this for Lord Balram. The cuckoos sing sweet prayers to honor you. In fact, the entire land of Vrindavan is fortunate because you touched her grass and bushes with your most auspicious feet. You touched her trees and creepers with your soft fingers, and you mercifully glanced at her rivers, mountains, birds, and animals. So this is true for Lord Krishna also. So he just sees them. It's so merciful that Lord Krishna, for so many years he was there, and he was looking at the tree, rivers, mountains, and birds, animals. They all had the pleasure of seeing him personally at that place. How Vrindavan pleases all the senses of Krishna. So see how these how all everything in Vrindavan is wants to please Lord Krishna. That's the only objective. That is the only objective of our life, to please Lord Krishna. and we have to do all our efforts in which Lord Krishna is pleased. So here everybody, all the natural things are doing that. The beauty of the forest pleases Krishna. So the forest wants to keep herself very beautiful. The forest wants to be very, very beautiful with flowers, with fruits, and colorful. So that Lord Krishna is, keeps looking at the trees. The humming bees and chirping birds, they are also creating beautiful sound, so that Lord Krishna's ears always listen to that. Early morning when you go for a walk, you will find so many birds chirping, so your sparrows, your parrots. So this is so beautiful, and so this is for Lord Krishna. This thing, the clear water of the lakes pleases Krishna's son. So this clear water in the Yamuna river and the lakes, they Lord Krishna, which he drinks it. So this is for pleasing his tongue. The fragrance of the hundred petal lotuses pleases Krishna's nose. So the Krishna is also getting the aroma of the flowers, the lotuses. And the cool breezes pleases Krishna's sense of touch. So breeze is touching his body, and he's giving the pleasing sensation. So everybody is trying to please Lord Krishna. Krishna thus expressed his satisfaction with the beauty of Vrindavan and gave all the credit to his elder brother Balram. The boys happily wandered along the banks of the Yamuna river near Govardhan mountain with their cows. Sometimes Krishna would imitate the ecstatic singing of honeybees, the chattering of a parrot, the sweet voice of a cuckoo, the queen of swans, and the dancing of a peacock. Thus, he would make all his friends laugh. So, how the children used to play? How Lord Krishna used to imitate. He used to imitate singing of honeybees, parrot, and then how cuckoo is singing. He used to do that, and he used to dance, swim like show as if he's swimming in the like swans, and he used to dance like a peacock. We always say that Lord Krishna is having a peacock feather, which was given by the peacocks because he danced and pleased them. So he was one. So this is what beautiful description of Lord Krishna's pastime in Vrindavan is there. Then Krishna would call out with great affection the names of the cows that had wandered far away from the herd. So here, Lord Krishna, the cows were having specific names. They used to be called by specific names, and they used to respond. And now also, if you go to the Dher Kadam. So there is a Panditji, there's a Vaishnav, very senior devotee who tells the katha of that place, that Mahima, who Lord Krishna and Balaram used to sit on the trees and they used to call the cows. And he just imitates that way. He calls by this thing, the names to his friends and cows. He used to call how Lord Krishna used to call. And he's such a great, very senior devotee. So if you have opportunity, I hope many people you would have gone there. So it's a beautiful place, Dher Kadam. That is where Rup Goswami's Bhajan Kutir is also there. So that's the place Rup Goswami used to sit and do his uh, chanting and writing. So Rup Goswami has written a lot of books. So from this Vaishnav, what we follow is a Rup Goswami's books only, whatever we Bhakti Marg, what we follow. So that place has so when he used to sit there, there was no shed. So Radharani used to come and give him this thing, kheer and offering food and this thing. So Lord Radharani also has served Rup Goswami. So it's a very beautiful place if you go there. Krishna would call out with great affection the names of the cows that had wandered far from the herd. Krishna sometimes mimicked the voices of birds like the peacocks. At times, he pretended to run away from imaginary lions and tigers in the forest. So he used to just pretend as if the tigers have come, a lion has come, just to make everybody run. And when Balram felt tired, Krishna lovingly massaged his feet. So you can see Lord Krishna is massaging the feet of Balram. And Balram rested his head on a friend's lap. So he's resting his head on one friend's lap. So Balram is like a king. So he's resting this way and he was enjoying. So occasionally they all sat together while the other friends danced, and both Krishna and Balram praised their joyful performance. They even engaged in playful bouts of mock fighting. They used to act like fighting each other, but it's acting of this thing. And they used to enjoy, they danced together, and they used to praise each other. So it was a lovely relationship and lovely time which was happening with the friends. So this is the best. So Lord Krishna, if you see, you're living as a child here in Baal. This thing, then he goes to this thing, Mathura. Then he goes to Dwarka and there he is living in a Aishwarya Bhav. So Lord Krishna can be worshipped in various ways. So as Dwarkadish, so if you go to Gujarat, they worship Lord Krishna as Dwarkadish, as in a austerity form, and is worshipped in that manner. And we worship Lord Krishna as what he is in Vrindavan, but along with Radha, as Radha Krishna. If you see the uh, Vallabhacharya, this thing, Bhakti monk, what they worship Lord Krishna as a small child. So they do everything as if he's a small child. All the celebrations, if you see, they have a lot of temples. So Haveli, they call it Haveli. So whatever they have Lord Krishna's temple, so they worship him in the form of Srinathji. So Srinathji is the form in which they worship as a small child who is holding a golden giraj. So we worship, everybody worships in each manner to Lord Krishna. So Lord Krishna has given so many options as Lord Krishna also, how you can worship him. But what we always feel, the way of worship to Lord Krishna as a child is the best. So as a child, either the way Vallabhacharya they do as Srinathji, or the way we do is like worship Radha Krishna. So by praying to Radha Rani, and then we get the benefit of worshipping Lord Krishna. So now this what we'll do now. This I'll continue later. So this is a story when it starts. So this I'll do on Monday along with continuing the Bhakt Prahlad story. Okay. Then I'll end the session now. Any questions? Anything? Okay, then I'll end now. Vancha kalpatrubhaya kripa sindhubhaya evacha patitanam pavanebhayo vaishnavebhayo namo namah. Yeah, Meera. Anything, Meera, you have?